They didn't just attack him, they obliterated him. They took the World Heavyweight Champion, the most dangerous, most outspoken, most feared man walking into WrestleMania 42, and they laid him out like a broken piece of furniture on the floor of Monday Night Raw. And here's what makes my blood boil: nobody is talking about how calculated, how cold-blooded, how absolutely premeditated this attack truly was. CM Punk didn't get ambushed. He got hunted. Roman Reigns, Jey Uso, Jimmy Uso, the entire Anoa'i machine, they moved like a pack of wolves, and they left the World Heavyweight Champion gasping for air in a heap of broken wood and shattered commentary desk while the whole WWE Universe watched in stunned silence. And if you think this was just another physical altercation on Monday Night Raw, just another bump in the road before WrestleMania, then you are not paying attention. Because what happened on that night was not a fight. It was a message. A declaration of war. And the terrifying part? The Bloodline has only just begun. Drop in the comments right now if you think CM Punk has been set up to fail at WrestleMania, and stay until the very end of this video, because I'm going to break down a detail from that attack that every single person missed, and it changes everything about what happens next. Segment 1: The Powder Keg, How We Got Here. Let's take a step back, because this moment didn't come out of nowhere. Oh no. This has been building for months, and if you've been watching closely, you could feel it coming like a freight train with no brakes. It started with words. CM Punk, being exactly who CM Punk, has grabbed a microphone on the March 2nd episode of Raw and said something that would set the entire Anoa'i family on fire. Punk told Roman Reigns, to his face, on live television, in front of millions of people watching around the world, that he was going to bury him, right next to his late father, Sika Anoa'i. Let me repeat that. CM Punk invoked the name of Roman Reigns' dead father. Now, I want you to stop for a second. I want you to sit with that. Because in the world of professional wrestling, in a business where trash talk is currency and disrespect is a language everyone speaks, there are lines. And what CM Punk said crossed every single one of them. That wasn't a promo. That was a grenade. Roman Reigns heard those words, and something shifted behind his eyes. You could see it. That calm, calculated, Hollywood-trained composure that Roman has spent years perfecting? It cracked. Not publicly, not yet, but backstage on March 16th, the wheels started turning. Reigns went to his family. He sat down with Jey and Jimmy Uso, and he said something that every person watching should have recognized as a battle cry. You should be offended at what CM Punk said about my father. Your uncle. He wasn't rallying troops. He was releasing them. And from that moment forward, CM Punk wasn't just defending a title. He was walking through enemy territory with a target painted on his back by the entire Anoa'i bloodline. Segment 2: The Match That Was Never Just a Match. Here's where I need you to understand something important about how Roman Reigns operates. This man doesn't act on emotion, or at least, he's trained himself not to. Every move is chess, not checkers. Every appearance is calculated for maximum impact. So when the Usos started showing up in CM Punk's business 2 weeks before the March 23rd Raw, that wasn't coincidence. That was strategy. The week before the attack, Jey and Jimmy Uso had already gotten physical with Punk. They confronted him, got in his face, and threw hands. And what did Punk do? He didn't run. He didn't back down. He laughed. He stood in the middle of that ring, absorbing the chaos, and he laughed because Punk knew something that the Usos didn't. He knew that every time the Bloodline acted out of emotion, it cost them, and he was betting on history repeating itself. But on March 23rd, Punk walked into that Raw arena in front of that crowd, and he grabbed that microphone, and he did what he always does: he provoked. He told the world that Roman Reigns, the Usos, the entire Bloodline family cannot do anything by themselves. He said after Reigns gave his cousins permission to attack him, not a single Samoan had looked at him sideways. He called them out. He named names. He stared down Jey Uso specifically and dared him to do something about it. And that's when the music hit. First Jey, then Jimmy, then Roman. The arena erupted. The air in that building changed. And what followed next is the moment that the WWE Universe is still trying to process. Segment 3: The Attack, Blow by Devastating Blow. Roman Reigns walked down that ramp like a man who had already decided what was going to happen. No hesitation. No showboating. Just cold, purposeful steps toward the ring. He told the Usos to leave. Get out of the ring. Step back. And in that moment, you could see what Roman was doing. He was making a statement that this was his business. This was between him and CM Punk. Man to man. Tribal chief to world champion. But Punk couldn't let it go. Because Punk never lets it go. That's both his greatest strength and his most dangerous flaw. He told Roman the Usos should stay. Taunted Jey right to his face. And Jey, whose temper has been his Achilles heel for his entire career, snapped. He launched himself at Punk like a missile, and that's when Roman made his move. Superman punch. Straight to the back of CM Punk's skull. Punk stumbled. The crowd gasped. And the Usos, being dragged back down the ramp by officials, had one last message for Roman. Jey Uso looked back at his cousin, at the man who once manipulated him into submission, who made him bow at his feet, and he yelled it, "You know what you have to do? Get him." And Roman Reigns? He listened. Spear. Right through the chest of CM Punk. The kind of spear that echoes. The kind that hits the speakers and bounces off the walls and makes every single person in that arena feel it in their ribcage. But Roman wasn't done. He picked Punk up. He grabbed the World Heavyweight Champion, the man who's supposed to carry WrestleMania 42 on his back, and he drove him through the announcer's commentary desk with a powerbomb that sent shockwaves through the entire WWE locker room. Punk went through that table like it was cardboard. The wood shattered. The monitors flew. The crowd lost their minds. And Roman Reigns stood over the wreckage of the man he's supposed to face at WrestleMania and surveyed the damage like a general standing over a conquered city. That right there, that image is what the Bloodline wanted the world to see. Not just CM Punk getting beaten. Roman Reigns reclaiming his identity, the tribal chief reasserting dominance, and the Usos, even in the background, even being restrained by officials, proving that when it comes to this family, the Bloodline always answers the call. Segment for the detail everyone missed. Now here's what I promised you at the top of this video. Here's the detail that changes everything. After the attack, after the dust settled, after Roman walked off and officials swarmed the wreckage, CM Punk was lying in the debris of that announcer's table, and he was laughing. Not crying. Not screaming, laughing, gasping for air, barely able to move, ribs potentially broken, and CM Punk is pointing to his palm, pointing to his hand with a smirk on his face. And then he looked up at the sky, pointed upward in Roman's signature tribal chief pose, and slung his title over his shoulder. He wasn't defeated. He was delighted. Because here's what CM Punk knows that the Bloodline doesn't want to admit: every single time Roman Reigns has needed the Usos to close the deal, every single time that family has ganged up on one man, it has eventually come back to haunt them. Jey Uso's temper already cost Roman a match against Bronson Reed at Crown Jewel. The Bloodline's internal conflicts have derailed Roman's title reigns before. And CM Punk? He has been planting seeds of chaos inside that family for weeks. Punk is not playing for March 23rd. He's playing for WrestleMania 42. And every attack, every humiliation, every time the Bloodline puts their hands on him, they are falling deeper and deeper into the exact trap he set. The man is letting himself get beaten so that the world turns against the Bloodline. So that when he walks into that WrestleMania main event, the crowd is rabid for him. So that the story writes itself. CM Punk has never just been a wrestler. He has always been the most dangerous kind of genius, the kind who makes you think you're winning while he's already won. Segment 5: what comes next? The road to WrestleMania 42. So where does this leave us? Let's be brutally honest about the landscape heading into WrestleMania 42. Roman Reigns has now crossed a line that Raw general manager Adam Pearce simply cannot ignore. A championship match participant viciously attacking the World Heavyweight Champion, driving him through a table on live television in front of thousands of fans, has real, legitimate consequences in the world of WWE booking. There are already serious conversations about whether Reigns' title shot could be put in jeopardy, whether he faces suspension, disciplinary action, or some kind of ultimatum before the grandest stage of them all. And that uncertainty? That's gold for this storyline. Think about it. What if Adam Pearce comes out next week and tells Roman Reigns his WrestleMania spot is on the line? What if Reigns is forced to compete in some kind of match or make some kind of public acknowledgement to keep his opportunity? The Usos' involvement is a massive question mark too. Can WWE allow Jimmy and Jey to accompany Roman to WrestleMania after this? Can they be ringside? Or has the Bloodline just overplayed its hand in the most public way possible? And then there's CM Punk, the champion. The man who walked through fire on March 23rd and came out the other side still holding his title, still pointing to his palm, still smirking at the chaos. What does Punk do next? Does he file a formal complaint? Does he demand a War Games match? Or does he do what CM Punk has always done, march directly into the eye of the storm and force WrestleMania to happen on his terms? Because let me be very clear about something, WWE Universe. This is not the end of CM Punk's story. This is the end of the beginning. The Bloodline has shown their hand. They have proven that they are scared. You don't gang up on a man in a 3-on-1 assault if you're confident. You don't need a family war council to handle one person unless that one person has gotten inside your head so deeply that you can't think straight. Roman Reigns called CM Punk old, and Punk fired back with something that shook the entire Anoa'i dynasty to its foundation. Now the tribal chief has resorted to brute force, to the same playbook that eventually crumbled around him before. And the clock is ticking. WrestleMania 42 is coming. The World Heavyweight Championship is on the line. And if history has taught us anything about CM Punk, if we've learned anything from watching this man survive every career-ending obstacle thrown at him, it is this. The best way to make CM Punk dangerous is to make him angry. And on March 23rd, the Bloodline did exactly that, closing the final verdict. So let me ask you something, and I want you to answer this honestly in the comments section right now. Do you think the Bloodline has helped Roman Reigns going into WrestleMania? Or have they just handed CM Punk the ultimate motivation? Because I'll tell you where I stand, and don't at me if you disagree, because the comments section is right there and I read every single one. I think Roman Reigns just made the biggest mistake of his entire career. Not because he attacked Punk. Not because the Usos got involved. But because he showed CM Punk and the entire WWE universe that he is not the composed, unshakable tribal chief he pretends to be. That beneath that Hollywood smile and those carefully crafted promos, Roman Reigns is just as susceptible to emotion as everyone else. CM Punk insulted his father. And Roman broke. That's not strength. That's a crack in the armor. And CM Punk, the greatest technical, psychological, and emotional wrestler of his generation, lives for cracks in armor. WrestleMania 42 is going to be one of the most emotionally charged main events this company has ever produced. And when that final bell rings, when the dust clears and one man's hand is raised inside that stadium, I want you to remember what happened on March 23rd. Remember the powerbomb. Remember the shattered table. Remember CM Punk laughing in the rubble. Because that laughter? That wasn't defeat. That was the sound of a man who knows exactly where this story ends. Smash that like button. Share this video with every WWE fan you know. And drop your prediction in the comments: who walks out of WrestleMania 42 as World Heavyweight Champion? CM Punk? Or Roman Reigns and the entire Bloodline? I'm Ring Rumble 1, and this is where the Rumble begin.